Hello. 2 years ago, I was doing my PhD teaching Bachelor students in history, and I loved it. And now I've quit my PhD, I've left academia, I'm unemployed due to health reasons, and I don't know where I'm going next, and I feel more successful than ever before. So, has that ever happened to you where you were doing what you loved and you were doing it well, but there was still this inkling like, is that all there is? Like, is this it? Is this life? If that's the case, your definition of success could probably use some work. So, we're pretty used to thinking about success in terms of external factors, right? For example, getting a certain job or getting a certain promotion. And the issue is that as soon as you tie your feeling of success to external factors, that means that when these external factors fall away, you do not feel successful anymore. And that was the case for me when I quit my PhD due to health reasons, because for so long I had defined myself by academic success, right? First getting my bachelor's in history and Slavic studies, then getting my master's in Eastern European history, then starting my PhD in Eastern European history, starting to teach students. So where there was always this next benchmark to hit, right? There was always the next degree to get or the next, external stamp of approval that I was successful. Because while I was on a bit of a like non-traditional path in the sense that I was studying history, like nobody's going to tell you, oh, you want to be successful, go study Eastern European history. Like, in fact, a lot of people told me, oh, this is stupid. Why are you doing this? But I was doing what I wanted. So in that sense, I was on a non-traditional path. But in the other sense, I was still doing that in a very rigid system, right? Academia is a very rigid system where you pass or you fail, and there's always more to strive for, right? That means that success is somewhere in the future, and that future is constantly moving. So you're never really successful. And you probably have your own version of this, whatever career path you're on, like whether you are in academia or you have like a corporate job or you're doing something completely different. Like, we're very used to thinking in terms of goalposts. But as I said, what happens when the goalposts fall away? Because I got sick last year, I had to quit my PhD. And that means that all these external factors I was using to define myself and success just fell away. And if I was still using that definition of success, I would call myself a failure now. Like, I would feel that I had failed. And in a sense, I did, right? I failed my previous way of success. So what I propose is that instead of defining success by external factors, we should focus on success as a way of life and as a set of personal values. Back then, success to me meant getting the next degree. Now success to me means like a bunch of different things. And the first of that is creating every single day. So I'm a writer. I'm writing a novel currently. It's a personal passion project. And it is very important for me to be spending time with my project every single day. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm writing every day. I'm writing most days, but not every single day. But it also means just spending time in my world with my characters, listening to music, maybe sitting, rereading something I've written before, just enjoying spending time with the project. And it also means creating videos. I've started creating videos recently. I'm beginning to really enjoy it. And so success to me means sitting down as often as I can and creating a video. And you'll notice that I said the success is in creating every single day. The success is not in whether I created something good, whether I created something anybody else enjoys, or whether I created something even I enjoy. Because let's be real, there are days where I'm not happy with what I've written. There are days I'm not happy with what I've recorded. But that was not the goal. The goal was not to produce something, but the goal was to create something. And creation means that I have to trust the process. And I guess that would be my next personal value that I live by, that I define as success, which would be, did I get to enjoy the process of what I was doing? For example, am I enjoying creating this video right now, or did I enjoy writing what I wrote? That doesn't always mean that there isn't any friction. Like, to be honest, right now, I'm super annoyed at how incredibly overexposed I am in this video. I've stumbled over my words quite a bit. I didn't feel like I nailed the intro the way I wanted to, but I've decided to continue on because enjoying the process doesn't mean that the process has to be perfect, right? It's kind of the antithesis of that. It means leaning into the imperfection of creation. And enjoying the process as a personal value doesn't just apply to creation, obviously. Like, I think it applies to your entire life. As I've mentioned, I'm unemployed currently. I do not strive to be unemployed forever, but that is the situation right now. So it can get easy to be so focused on where I'm going that I forget where I am. And I recently made a video about that, about the necessity of accepting your current situation to even be able to change your current situation. But just in general, enjoying the process also means enjoying the process of me, right? Like, I'm a woman who is not finished. I will not be finished until the day I die. So I have to make peace with that fact, and I have to enjoy where I am now, even though I'm striving to maybe go somewhere else. So to make this a bit more practical, for me, enjoying the process of being unemployed, I guess that would, for example, mean that I have a lot of time during the day to be creating videos, to be writing. And once I am employed again, I will have to change my schedule, right? I will have to adjust, and I'm sure I will do that. But obviously, it means that more time during my day will be occupied by other things. And therefore, I might not get to create in the same way I do now. So enjoying the process means leaning into that, enjoying what I have now, which is more time freedom than I might have later. And that really comes down to finding joy in the present moment, which is the third personal value I strive to live by, because it creates success for me. And enjoying the moment is really the most difficult thing when you are like a perfectionist overachiever like me, because as I said, you're always striving for the next thing. And the worst part is that striving is fun, right? Like, I really enjoy going after my goals. I really enjoy finding something new to focus on, making a plan, taking the actions, going after it. Like, it's really what brings me joy in life. So finding joy in the present moment when so much of my joy is in the future can be kind of tricky, because it feels like I have these two sides of me battling. I'm a Gemini sun, so maybe that's connected. But finding joy in the present moment doesn't mean letting go of striving. It just means that letting yourself enjoy where you are right now, and letting yourself enjoy where you're going later. Again, we're trying to break out of this idea that success is somewhere later, that our life is somewhere later. It is now. Like, there's only ever the present moment, ever. Really, like, the past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist. We only have right now. And to let us pass that by means that, like, if you're letting this moment pass by, it means you're also going to let your future pass by. Like, if you cannot feel successful now, you cannot feel successful later. And I used to struggle so much with this concept. Like, I've been in personal development for 10 years, like a third of my life. And still only in the last year did I begin to understand what it truly means to be in the present moment. And ironically, I didn't do that through enjoying the present moment, but I did through my illness. Like, I mentioned that I quit my PhD due to health reasons. And what that really means is that I was really severely ill for almost 1.5 years, to the point that I couldn't leave my bed for the first 3 months. And after that, leaving my bed meant a lot of exhaustion, a lot of migraines, a lot of just mental health issues. Like, it was really like the toughest time of my adult life. And it is through like that time that I learned what it means to be in the present moment. I'm pretty sure anybody who has experienced severe illness can understand this, because when you are so ill, there is nothing for you to focus on except your illness, like except the pain you may be in, the symptoms you might have, whatever may be happening for you. And it was a horrible time, but it also taught me that I can be with what is. I can be with what is, even if it is not enjoyable. I can be with what is, even if it is painful. Like, I can be with myself. I can give myself that attention and that care. And only if I can be present with myself in my pain can I also be present with myself in my joy, like in where I am right now, even if it's not perfect. Like, even if the lighting in this video is atrocious, even if it's a beautiful summer day and I'm in my dark room, stumbling over my words, I can still find some joy in it. Because if I can't find joy in it, then what's the use? Like, what am I doing here? And that doesn't mean that things can never be difficult, or that you should only be ever doing things that are fun and breezy and light in the moment. I don't believe that's true. For example, I enjoy working out. Working out is, hard on the body. You're sweating. You're literally tearing your muscles apart. And it's super fun. You're growing, like you're increasing your capacity for so many things. And there's like a lot of fun in that. I mean, a lot of games are based on the idea that there's some difficulty you're overcoming, right? Like, I enjoy video games. Mostly right now I'm playing cozy farming games, so maybe that's not the best example. But even there, cozy farming games generally have like some kind of aspect of maximizing your profits, they have some combat mechanic, like there's still some challenge there, right? So finding joy in the present moment, as I said, is not just about doing things that's like super light and fun. It can also mean friction. It can also mean challenge, but leaning into the challenge. Like if you're like me, if you, as I said, like identify as an overachiever, then you love challenge. Like you you live for it. And you're, by not leaning into the challenge, even if it's not necessarily fun in the moment, it can still be fulfilling. As I said, I studied Eastern European history. Specifically, I studied the last century. So that means the Second World War. That is not fun. It is not a fun topic. It is not fun or enjoyable to be spending time with human atrocity to that capacity. But there was still like a sense of fulfillment I could find in my work, because I felt I was doing something that was interesting to me. I was doing something that was important. I could even give that knowledge to students. I could teach German students on my culture, on the history of my people. And that brought me so much fulfillment, even if it was not fun in the traditional sense. But it was a challenge that made me grow as a person in so many ways. And that's the case too for creating videos. Like as you can probably tell, I'm not like a pro. I'm not like a total beginner anymore, but I am still a beginner. So there are many things that are challenging to me about creating videos. And not just like from a technical standpoint. As you can tell, I don't really care about that, because like to me it's important that my message is clear. I do not care too much about my visuals. That might change in the future, but my challenge is really in getting my point across. And that means that the majority of my challenges are in my head, right? You know, like sitting down, oh, is this good enough? Oh, but you should be doing this. Oh, but this person said this, blah, blah, blah. You know, that is like a challenge in that aspect. I do not always enjoy, but if I really were to apply my life philosophy of finding joy in the present moment, I might even look at that. I might kind of try to gamify that, right? Like if that thought pops up, it's like, oh, you know, there's like, once again, a challenger. Like it's here for me to level up. So if I create, even though I have that thought in my head, then I'm so successful. Like I passed the next level. I didn't let that stop me. I just, you know what? I'm just going to do it with the stupid thought. And that's how you get to the next level. So that's how you can find joy in the present moment, even if the present moment isn't like cuddling your cat, you know, which I do find a lot of joy. This brings me to my fourth pillar of what I consider success for me, which is accepting imperfection. And so that means accepting imperfection in myself, in my life, in my creations. Because really that's what you're doing when you are finding joy in wherever you are. Even if, like on an objective level, one might be able to say, man, this sucks. Like you are accepting that where you are is maybe not where you want to be, but that doesn't mean that you have to be blind to the facts of the situation. Like that is really all that acceptance is just saying, these are the facts of the situation. I made a video about that recently where I was talking about my journey to accepting my unemployment. Like just saying, I am unemployed, not even giving the caveat, it's because of health reasons, it's because of this, blah, blah. Like I am unemployed. I am accepting that fact. And accepting that fact means I can now take action steps. Like I can decide what are my next steps to improving my health to the point I can work again. What do I want to work? Like how do I find that work? Like all of that is only possible if I accept where I am right now. Because otherwise I'm just off in la la land, thinking about, oh, you know, in the future I'm going to do this and that and that, and not actually doing anything about it in my real life. So as I said, like accepting imperfection in your daily life is just about saying this is. It doesn't mean you have to like it. It doesn't mean you have to pretend it's not there. It just is. And to bring that back to the beginning, in my former life, I was not accepting where I was. When I was doing my master's, I was not accepting that I'm still doing my master's. I was in my head thinking about doing my PhD. When I was doing my PhD, I was not accepting that I was doing my PhD. I was always thinking about, oh, life is going to be so great when I have my PhD. And I genuinely believe if I had been able to accept that I was doing my PhD, that was the phase of life I was in, rather than focusing so much on how much better life was going to get when I had my PhD, then I might actually have finished it. Like if I had been able to really embody that life philosophy back then, I might not have burned out. My health issues might not have compounded in the way they did. And who knows, maybe they would have. You know, it was like a train wreck building for 30 years, basically, my entire life. So who knows? But at least I would have enjoyed the phase I was in. At least then I wouldn't be looking back now thinking, damn, why didn't I enjoy it more? Why did I take it for granted? And I think that was the case because I thought if I accept that I'm doing my PhD right now, that means I'll just be complacent and I won't be going towards my goals. Like this striving part of me will be gone. But that couldn't be more false, I believe, because like you can accept where you are, you can even like where you are, and you can look forward to the future and you can strive for something. For example, I really enjoy my living situation. I live in a beautiful house with great roommates, with 2 cats. Like, I love it. Every single day I wake up, I'm like, wow, I'm so blessed to be living here. And I strive to get married. Like, I want to find my person, I want to get married, I want to build a life together. And when I do that, I will be moving out of this house. Like, I realized that the other day I was like cuddling my roommate's cat. He's like my baby, right? I was cuddling him and I was like, oh my God, when I meet my person, when I get married, I won't be able to cuddle like my baby every single day anymore. Like, I only get to see him when I visit. And I was so sad. I was so sad. It really made me appreciate what I have right now. Just because I know that in the future it will change doesn't mean that right now is bad. Like, that just to illustrate that just because you're striving to go somewhere else doesn't mean where you are right now isn't something you can enjoy. And actually, if you do embody that, as I said, it makes you enjoy what you have right now more. Like, now every single day I'm cuddling that cat, I'm like, oh my God, you are like the light of my life. Because like every single day I'm having breakfast with my best friend. I'm like, wow, it's so cool. I'm living with my best friend and we just get to hang out all the time. And that is not something many people get to have. So by accepting the imperfection of, oh, I would like to be in a relationship, but I'm not, I'm getting to really see, what do I do already have? What do I do get to be grateful now? And that makes everything I've talked about so far way easier. Like, it all builds on each other. Enjoying the process of creation, finding joy in the present moment. It all comes down to accepting what is. Not even having to approve of it, just accepting it. And what acceptance allows us to do, and I've alluded to this, is moving through our fears. And moving through your fears is actually what creates massive success, internally and externally. Because it's what allows you to actually grow as a person, and it's what allows you to make power moves. And let me just take a step back and explain what I mean by moving through your fears. Because what held me back in the past was this idea that, oh, if you just do like a ton of inner work, if I just do all the journaling, all the meditation, whatever, all the releasing, then I won't be afraid anymore, and then I'll get to do the things I want to do, like creating videos, but I'm afraid of. And eventually I realized, well, that's not the case, because while meditation and journaling, like, I love that, it's it's amazing, all of that is extremely necessary for me, for my health, there's nothing on this planet that will take away your fears of doing something quite like doing it. Like, for example, I was trying to get myself to create videos for like 2 months until I realized, wow, okay, I've moved through a lot of stuff, released a lot of stuff, but I will never not be afraid to record my first video. And I will never not be afraid to record the next video and the next one and the next one. I will only stop being afraid of creating videos when I've created so many videos that it's become a habit. And even then I might still get nervous. Like, for example, when I started writing again, that was after my burnout. So obviously I was terrified of, oh my God, am I gonna burn out again? Or can I even write anymore? Like, what's happening? So I kind of took baby steps there, and I've made a video about that. But what I want to focus on now is that I didn't wait to not be afraid. I just accepted that being nervous and being a bit afraid was part of the process. I trusted myself to sit with that. Like, if it came up, I trusted myself to just be with the sensations in my body, acknowledge them, release if anything needed to be released, but to not let that stop me from creating. So for 1 month, I was just vibing with my project. Then for 1 month, I was planning it. And then I started writing again. And with every single step, there was some faith involved, there was some fear involved, but I started creating again, and now I've written almost 90,000 words in 6 months while dealing with chronic illness. So moving through my fear and not waiting for my fear to disappear really allowed me to make those power moves of writing again, and writing at a pace that I could actually never sustain in the past. And again, this comes down to accepting imperfection, accepting fear, accepting that you are afraid of creating what it is you want to create. That maybe there are projects that have been on the back burner for years that you haven't touched because you're frozen. And that's another reason why moving through fear is so important, because when you are afraid of something, it holds you back so much in life. Like, it literally freezes you. If there's something you want to do, but you're just not getting to it, then your nervous system might be playing a big role there. And I recently recorded a pretty long video about why we might not be taking action and what it is we really want to do, even if we are action takers, even if we identify as overachievers, like what a lot of our blockages are. But if you are frozen, if there is a project that's really dear to your heart, like a passion project that you really want to get going, like writing a book or starting a YouTube channel or starting a podcast or whatever, and you're just not getting to it, like there's something in the way, then I do offer one-on-one coaching sessions. Like, it's called Jumpstart Your Passion Project, where we talk through your blockages and then build a system for creation. Because while mindset is important, like you do have to be in the right mindset to create, in the sense of you accept that you are afraid, you accept that it might not be perfect in the beginning, but you are still going to show up and try. You also do need a system for creation. As I said, like, I wrote my novel because I did have a system for creation that worked with my chronic illnesses. And not just my chronic illnesses, but also my neurotype. Because traditional productivity systems run on a very specific idea of who you are, how your body works. And I would argue that for the majority of people, that is not actually the case. So if you do want to jumpstart your passion project, then I encourage you to check out my booking page, where there's more information on the offer. Right now, it's on a special launch price for €111 for a 90-minute session. And then I send you a follow-up email with more, like what you talked about, and like an action plan, basically. As I said, that price will go up in the future. And if that's something you're interested in, then you should check it out now. If not, then I just hope you got something from this video. I really hope it was useful to you. Please let me know how you would define success for you. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Like, you can just have like a working definition of success for yourself. Like, what do you want to define your success by? What do you want to live by? And yeah, my name is Zhenya, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.